Hello, I'm Jane, I'm the Cornish Knitter and I'm really happy to be here with you. This video is about my finished objects, what I've been working on over the last few weeks, a very small life update, and I'll cover more in another video. And also just talking a little bit about what I'm doing to sort of bring more joy into my life through my knitting, through journaling, and yeah, I'm just going to share it all with you. So I hope you enjoy this. If you do, don't forget to like and subscribe, and please do comment too, because it's been wonderful to hear what you've got to say. So I'm going to start this video by just saying that lots of the sort of B-roll, the insert rolls, were actually recorded a few weeks ago. And as some of you may have seen on a recent post of mine, if you follow me on Instagram, or if you follow me, or I did put up, I think, a little short sort of comment on here, I've actually had a major health event and been really, really ill. And I just wanted to come on here and just sort of explain some of these videos are pre that event, and obviously this is me now. I'm not going to go into masses of details about what happened to me. I thought I'd actually put that in another video, just explain what went on, how I'm feeling now, and then just some things that I learned along the way in terms of for those of you that don't know, I had blood clots or pulmonary embolisms on both my lungs and also an enlarged heart. And yeah, I'm very lucky to be here talking to you today. And I really know that. But as I said, I don't want to make this video about my health. If you are interested, watch out in a week or so and I'll pop up another video just exclusively talking about what happened. But my goodness, how life-changing have the last few weeks been for me since I last posted. And thank you to so many of you that have commented, have seen my comments, but also just for sticking with me. You know, I lost a few subscribers because I haven't posted for a while, but I'm not a machine. I'm human, and you know, I've just been too poorly to be able to do it, but I'm sort of back now. And yeah, I've been working on some lovely projects which I want to share with you. But I also, even before this, I was not feeling well. As many of you knew, you'd heard that I was quite breathless. I've mentioned it a few times, and even before this I was thinking about what could I really knit. You know, those knits that are really easy to do, they sort of there's no pressure, there's no counting, you can take them anywhere. You know, if you're meeting up with friends, you can take them confident that you're not going to make a mistake. They're potentially ones you've worked on before. You don't need to take the pattern with you. You can take it to the park, to the beach, to the pub, to the coffee shop. And yeah, I just wanted to bring something, a knit like that, back into my life so I could just fall in love with knitting again and really enjoy it and just enjoy the process. So the sort of knits that I sort of tend to reach for are things like the ranunculus or a simple scarf, the Sophie scarf, for example. Well, I haven't tried a muscle burr hat, but I know an awful lot of people do use that as a mindless knit. Ranunculus, my goodness, I've knit 7 of them. I could just do it in my sleep, I think. And these projects just don't demand anything of us. That's why they feel so good. And I chose a really lovely colour. And I just wanted to take you along with the process. So in this little clip that I'm going to show you, I show you in the shop as I'm choosing the yarn. Obviously, I'm really lucky. I get a whole yarn shop to choose yarn from, and yeah, naturally, as a yarn shop owner, I'm going to pick, but you know, buy in yarn that I love too. So yeah, I'll take you through the process of picking that, choosing the pattern, and then, you know, a little sort of B-roll about where I've knitted and just wearing it. But as I said, this was filmed a few weeks ago, but I hope you really enjoy it. So I thought I'd bring you with me today. I just fancy, you know, one of those palette cleanser little knits, a happy knit, shall we say, one which makes me feel really uplifted, easy to do, don't have to think about, can take out and about with me. And of course, I'm lucky enough to have a huge stash to choose from. So there's sorts of things that I really enjoy sort of knitting, things that are really simple. Something like a pair of socks is always on my needles. A Sophie scarf. I've got loads of Sophie scarves. A ranunculus is one. And our own little pattern here, which is a very simple scarf, which is probably what I'm going to knit. And I'll put the pattern details underneath. But it's super easy to do. I really like the flexibility of this. So I think that might be what goes on my needles. But come along with me whilst I pick and prep. So prepping, the yarn is caked, all ready to go. This is the original pattern and the original scarf in the original colourway, which was one of our Christmas advents from last year. So got the pattern, got the yarn, got the needles, notions. I think I'm ready to go. Only me. So as you can see, that's why I love that sort of project. You know, you can take it anywhere. It's like calming, you don't have to stress about it, and it, you know, it just brings you something joyful at the end of it. And I will show you in real life my finished little scarf. Doesn't really, does it go with pamper? It's a bit of a bright clash for me. Yeah, so this is our Porthleven scarf. We have got it on our website if anybody's interested. I've done it in DK. You can really actually do it in any weight of yarn. I chose a yarn from Spectrum Fibre, which was a DK yarn. I had it in my stash, actually. Oh no, I didn't. This was my stash that I'd taken down to the shop. What I have been doing is destashing at home, and in the really beautiful yarns that I got, I've actually taken into the shop. So that other people can enjoy them, because if they're stuck in my cupboard, people aren't going to be able to enjoy them in the same way, are they? And they're not getting any love. So if I had sort of lost my sort of incentive for using that yarn, or not knowing what I was going to use it for, I've actually taken it down the shop so somebody else can have it and love it in the way that it should be loved. So this was one of those skeins. So I love Spectrum Fibres yarns, that she always does really bright, vibrant sort of colours. And yeah, I can see this is sort of a colour that's just going to cheer you up, isn't it? I mean, it's pink. Oh, what's not to love? Pink. But you could do it in any colour. And yeah, super simple knit. I didn't even use 50 grams. Probably about 60 grams, sorry, I used 60 grams, I didn't use 100 grams, so I had loads left over, but it's just the right length for me, and it just brings a bit of cheer into my day. And my question to you is, what's your favourite mindless knit? The one that brings you joy, the one that you can take anywhere, don't have to think about. And I thought, if you comment below, what I could do is look at what the favourite 10 are, and then do another video on that and sort of share them with you, what everybody said. So please do comment below. Tell me what your favourite mindless, take anywhere, go anywhere, chat with friends type of knit is, or the ones that you pick up when you want to be soothed or calmed, and just give me a little bit about why as well. So I will try and do that video in the next few weeks and sort of pick out what you've commented. So that's one thing that I've been doing. So you can see I'm wearing a crocheted sweater, my first ever crochet project. That is from a pattern and a sweater, so with shaping. So I've mentioned before the online community, which is the Cornish Knitters flock. On there, a number of us were crocheters, but had never done a sort of sweater or garment. We've done shawls, we've done animals, we've done blankets, but never the shaping that you'd need for a garment. So what we sort of collectively decided to do was run a crochet along on the flock, support each other through that process of making a garment from scratch, following a pattern. And one of our flockers, as we call them, Linda, is a very experienced crocheter, done lots of garments. She sort of led the crochet along. Very grateful to Linda. She was a great support and help. But also the designer, Claudine from Iron Lamb, is the designer of this sweater, and we all picked a design by her. She came along for our first event. Talked about how to look at the patterns, what to think about. She's got a great range of videos, so do go and check her out, and make sure that you have a look at her video library. So this is the Lowrider sweater. It's sort of a sweatshirty type, sort of, I'm going to stand up. Hopefully I don't knock the camera over. So you can see it's curled up because I haven't done anything with the bottom, but it's sort of a loose fit. It's a raglan shaping. The sleeves, I chose not to make, I didn't want the sleeves too tight, so I chose not to make any decreases in the sleeves. This is the large size. I wanted it sort of sweatshirty, floppy, and I wanted to be able to wear it in the summer. So I picked a quite inexpensive yarn. It was a King Cole cotton and bamboo mix. I got it off a wool warehouse. So wasn't too expensive. What I would say about it, although I loved the finished garment, as somebody that's fairly new to crocheting a garment, it was quite thready, so it did split, and a few times it's got, you can see there, like little, the fibre had little knots in it, which was a bit irritating. However, I just wanted something bright and cheerful. I love this sort of scoop neck. It's really comfortable. I did a crochet rib. First time I've ever done a crochet rib. I was super impressed with it because I thought I was going to knit the rib. But actually I really like it. And my goodness, it's definitely one I'm going to do again. I said the next crochet sweater, and I will probably pick one of Iron Lamb's designs again, because it was amazing to follow. The video support was really good, and she's always available at the end of an email as well if there was any problems. So everybody who was on the KAL has made their garments. Most people have finished or got very near to finishing, and we've all achieved it, and it was amazing. And it's given me the confidence to go back to crochet patterns and have another look. But I'm definitely going to do another one. Not sure whether I'll do it in this sort of fibre or go for a wool fibre next time and do it so it's more of a winter sweater. But really happy with this, and yeah, I love the finish on it. So check her out, Iron Lamb, on YouTube, and go and look at her patterns on her website and on Ravelry too. So one of my other finish, I've been a busy girl, haven't I? I've had lots of time. Actually, my mojo from when I was really poorly and in hospital, my mojo for my knitting completely went. Everybody sort of said, oh, at least you'll have plenty of time for knitting. And I didn't, I just didn't feel like it, but it's come back, thankfully, and crochet. But this, I've shown you a few times. This was, I'm going to have to look it up. It was the Threadline top by Imke von Nathusius. And I've done it in the Fiberco Meadow. So it is a, you can see, it's a micro stripe. So two rows of each colour. And I hope you can see this. It's got this sort of V, it's a really simple knit. but it's sort of got this sort of detailing here, which on the front and the back, which I thought was a really nice detail. It is cap sleeved, but because it's sort of longer, it's not sort of too much, so it doesn't show off too much of your flabby arms. Oh, why do our arms get flabby as we get older? I know why, but why? I hate having to cover my arms up. I'm just quite conscious of them. But this top, when I finished it and hadn't blocked it, and I tried it on, I thought, God, that looks awful on me. And I thought, I'm never, ever going to wear that. You know, that's going straight down the shop as a sample. I'm never wearing it. And so I thought, well, let's block it, see what it looks like. Oh, my goodness. Blocking transformed it. So anybody that let me know again in the comments, are you a blocker or don't you bother? I block everything because I just think it looks so much nicer if it's a natural fibre, sort of animal-based natural fibre. And it completely transformed this garment, so well worth it. And I'm so pleased that I did it, and it's made a huge difference. It's still gone down the shop as a sample, but it means that I can wear it as well, so which is great. Win-win for me. So what else have I been doing? So finished my socks. These are just a vanilla 3x1 rib. I showed you before the kite heel on it, and yeah, so I finished. I've always got a pair of socks on the go, and if I'm not doing our sock club socks, it's something just really simple. So these were another mindless project for me. These came everywhere with me, to the beach, yeah, out with friends, yeah, even to the cinema. I took these. So lovely pattern. The yarn is an exclusive yarn to us. It's by Hannah at the Camels Yarn, and it's called Gilly Foreshore. I don't think we've got any in stock, but we're always reordering it. So if you do like this, keep an eye on our website or go on and sort of ask to be notified when it's back in stock, because I will be reaching out to Hannah. She's just moved house, so I knew I couldn't get hold of her this week. So in the next couple of weeks, I will go and get a new stock of this and our other bespoke yarn, Falmouth Bay. So really love doing that. And then I don't know if I mentioned last time that somebody contacted me and asked if I did commissions. And I would automatically normally say, no, you know, I have to knit for the shop, you know, rarely get to knit for myself. And the thought of doing a commission for somebody, and people don't usually value how much time goes into it. So my initial instinct was to say no, but the lady, and I won't say her name, but the lady that wrote to me, I just loved her story. She was a Cornish lady having to work away, and she was approaching a significant birthday, and her family had asked what she would like for her birthday, and she said that she would really like something that was hand knitted in Cornwall by a Cornish woman, and they agreed to purchase the yarn, well, pay for the yarn to be purchased and for me to knit it. And she just wanted something that reminded her of home. And she chose the pattern, and it's the Cornish Thrift shawl by the Knitting Shed. Lovely pattern. They didn't have the yarn that they had on the pattern, but I went out to, but the lady who wanted the commission wanted the colours that were in the original shawl. So I went out and got the closest I could. Now this is the shawl. So the Cornish Thrift shawl. So it's got this sort of crisscrossy design. So you do one row of knit and then one row of purl 3 together, yarn round needle, purl 3 together, and then slide them off. Knit one, I think, from memory. Can't remember. Anyway, I did loads of them, and then the rest of it is sort of stripy, and then there's another little section. So it's it's not an asymmetrical shawl. It's quite a bit. So the pattern is either 2 skein or 3 skein. This is a 2 skein version, and as you can see, it's quite generous as 2 skeins. 3 skeins would be enormous. But I really enjoyed knitting this. Not that I'm going to take on masses of commissions. It was the story behind it, and there was no pressure. She said, I'm not, you know, I won't be wearing it until the autumn, so, you know, there's no sort of urgency to get it done. So it was a nice thing to knit because I didn't feel pressured to do it in a certain time. Obviously, you take a little bit more care if it's for somebody else. So if I made a little mistake, whereas if it was mine or for the shop, I'd probably think, I'll just go on and, so there it is. I'll just go on and, you know, ignore that. But obviously if it's for somebody else and they're paying for you to do it, you can't do that. So I've just seen I've just put in a stitch marker, obviously, early doors, to show me what the right side and the wrong side was. I just noticed it and I was about to pack that up to send to the lady. I've let her know that it's all ready for her and she's really excited about receiving it. So it feels nice. It feels nice to be able to gift it to her. So before I show you what I'm planning, and some of the things I'm planning I won't show you now because I don't want to make the video too long, but I'll show you in a later video. But one of the other things I started doing before I became unwell was I was consciously trying to think about, you know, 2025 has been a tough year for me in lots of ways, and I've documented it on here and won't go into it again. But I wanted to sort of help myself sort of have a more positive attitude and sort of try and sort of look at the positives in life, but also record my thoughts and feelings. So I've tried this before and I got a bit obsessive about it, so it became a chore. This time around, I'm doing a journal. This is a notebook therapy journals. I love their journals. They're such high quality. The dot grid paper inside, I don't know if you can see that, is beautiful paper. So it's a pleasure to work on. And I was like, be kind to yourself. Don't make it too challenging. Don't get too arty with it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just about you. So I just wanted to show you what I've been doing in my journal, because it's mainly about knitting and how I'm feeling and just a little bit about my daily habits. So not too detailed, it's not a to-do list or anything like that. Subsequently, since I was poorly, I've added some bits to it, but I'll show you that in another video. I didn't record that here, but I will, maybe I'll show you when I do the video about, you know, what happened. And believe me, it was, well, I say I'm very lucky to be here. So I'm just really grateful for so many things at the moment. So let me show you a little bit about my journaling and what I put in pre-becoming unwell. I thought I'd show you my journal. I have decided to start a journal. I have never kept a very good record of the things that I've been knitting or working on, and I just wanted to do that, as well as sort of taking some time to capture my mood and my thoughts and to think about what things I'm grateful for. And well, I'll show you. So I have only started this in the last few days, and so we're in the middle of July. So I've called it my Threads of Time journal, and I've got a little rhyme at the beginning which says, let the rhythm of the stitches quiet the noise of the day, which I thought was an appropriate saying for me. I haven't done these yet. These are for me to do. I know what I'm going to do, but I just want to spend some time creating them the way I'd like to. But the main sort of purpose of this was to sort of start to capture the projects that I've been working on. So the Threadline Tea, which I will show you in my video, has been completed. And this was my first project that I registered in here. So I've captured the yarn, you know, what it's called, when I started and finished it, my thoughts on it, whether I hit gauge, and and anything that I learnt along the way. And one of the big things, which I think I will mention in my normal video, is actually what a difference bulking makes. Because I tried it on beforehand and I thought, I'm never going to wear this. It was for the shop anyway, primarily, but I did knit it with a view to being able to wear it at some point. But after blocking, it was much nicer. So and this one is one I'm just starting. So this is Bird Street Yarns. In fact, that is called Just Rust. So it was a commission from, I don't normally take on commissions, but this one I agreed to do because the lady is a Cornish lady. She can no longer live down here due to work, and she has a special birthday coming up, and her family wanted to get her something special, and she wanted a shawl knitted in Cornwall. So I agreed to do it, and yeah, I've just started it. It's a lovely pattern. It's by the Knitting Shed, and it's called the Cornish Thrift Shawl, and it's possibly one that I'll knit for myself afterwards. So I just wanted to sort of start to sort of record what I've been knitting on, because I'm useless at Ravelry and sort of doing things on there. So this was a way of me being able to capture it. I need to do a photo, which is down here, of the Threadline tea. Now it's finished, but I will, once that's done, I will show you it. But and on the other things that I wanted to do each month is start to capture how long I've been knitting during the day, just as a sort of little record for myself, and how it was making me feel. So like the 7th actually was my husband's birthday, so I didn't get any knitting done because I was working, but that was okay because I had other things to do. But for a couple of days, because I had deadlines with knits for the shop and for Sock Club, that felt quite, well, it felt quite sort of dedicated and rushed, and it wasn't for pleasure. Although I enjoyed the process, it really wasn't for pleasure. So because I had a deadline. But then also I'm trying to capture any small things to be grateful for during the day. So so like for Tuesday, for example, when I felt a bit rushed, but I did get to have a nice walk with my dad. And this day I watched Wimbledon. I got to watch Wimbledon as I was knitting, and that was lovely. So over on this page, just sort of top tasks, not to sort of hold me to what I need to do, but just to sort of give me some guidance about what sort of things that I'm sort of planning over this month. But I also, because I want to sort of make sure that I keep my steps up and do a little bit more activity than I have been doing, I've started to record my steps on this side, so that I can try and make sure I do at least 10,000 a day. As you can see, I didn't on that day, but I did have a swim in the sea. So I think that gives me an excuse. And then here, I just want to capture any good books that I've been reading, or anything interesting that I just wanted to make a note of. So this is not too intense a journal. It's something that's meant to be relaxing for me. I have got a number of stickers and things, as you do when you get journals, and I wanted to make it pretty, but I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to make it a work of art. So I've just been doodling on it, and yeah, just enjoying it. I spend some time in the morning just reflecting on the day before, and just popping the information in, and it's just a really nice sort of thing to do. On the bottom here, I hope you like my little faces. So that's happy, of course. That's angry. That's nice and calm and chilled. That's anxious, and that's sad. So yeah, not exactly Rembrandt or Picasso, but yeah, just enjoying making it pretty. So I thought I'd show you this, and yeah, I'll keep you up to date with what I'm doing with it. So the only whip I'm going to show you, because it's quite relevant now, quite right now, and I've just forgotten the name of it, but I'm sure you're all going to know, is again, on the flock, when we had our last Zoom knit and natter, and we have ladies from all over the world, so it's always entertaining hearing what people are getting up to in different time zones and what's happening in people's lives. And if you're interested in it, obviously do go and check out our website. But we were having a knitter natter on Monday, and I think, well, there was about 30 of us, I think, on the, no, it wasn't that many. Probably about 20, 24, 25 of us on the knit and natter. But out of those, a good 7 or 8 were doing the Stephen West Sock Along. Conscious something or other. Anyway, you'll know what it is. Stephen West often releases sort of a mystery pattern. Usually it's shawls, but he started in the last 2-3 years, he's done a sock. I think he does them only once a year. Might be wrong there. It might be twice a year. And he does amazing videos, support videos, tutorials, and they're always wacky and you get to try loads of skills. And they were all doing this sock, and I was like, no, never done a mystery one. I might wait until see what it's like. Anyway, when I started to see all the people as what they've been working on, they convinced me to have a go. So I'm trying to get them in the order, but I can't because my hands aren't big enough. So it's 5 colours, and I've just thrown it on the floor. 5 colours. These are my colours for mine. Not too poppy. And they're all, he says that you only need 5 20-gram skeins of obviously sock yarn, and you do need quite a high contrast in them as well. So I did take a black and white photo to check that the contrast was good. And then they're numbered A, B, C, D and E. And he said the E one could be a speckledy one. So that's my speckledy one. So these are all from Stash, from a variety of dyers. So I'm excited to cast on. I've watched his first video. He's released 2 clues as of today's date, which is August the 8th, Friday. I think the next one comes early part of next week. So I've got some catching up to do. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to casting those on because the others were spectacular. And I think out of the people on the Zoom, quite a few of us are like, yeah, I think I might actually have a go at that. So it'll be my first go of knitting anything Stephen West related. What else have I got to share with you? Nothing major. Our Stitch and Pamper boxes, some of you may have purchased those. We've done a Christmas surprise box. I've done it in collaboration with a lady called Janet Clare, who is a very well-known sort of fabric designer for quilt fabrics. But she started life as a knitwear designer, and that's what she learned at university and college. And we got chatting and she sort of said, I'd really love to have another go. So she and I have worked together to produce these Stitch and Pamper boxes. They sold out within 24 hours. Amazing. We had a limited number and they sold out so quickly. So if you did buy one, thank you. And we will go on between Christmas and New Year and do an unboxing and chat through the patterns and things with you. But if you did miss out, don't worry, we are planning to do another lot of collaborations too. So hopefully you'll be able to grab one of those if they interest you. So there's a little bit of sewing in there. There's definitely lots of knitting, and there's some beautiful gifts from Cornwall, all inspired by the sea and the coast of Cornwall too. So that's sort of been a busy thing, and that I sort of had to jump straight back into that. I've been easing myself back into work a little bit, and being a bit kinder to myself and taking time off and not always being available to respond to emails immediately, sort of trying to keep it more into office hours to respond to people, just to protect my own health really. One of the other things that I did is in our the July Sock Club box, one of the gifts that went out, I like to include with the yarn and the pattern and the videos and everything else, I like to include a gift from Cornwall. And Cornwall is very well known for artisan food and drink producers. We've got a unique climate down here, and it means that all sorts of produce can grow that you might not be able to grow anywhere else in the UK or indeed Europe. And one of the gifts, because it was a picnic theme, so one of the gifts, we had some lovely preserve from Boddington's Jams, which is just up the road from us, but we also had some Tregothnan tea. So Tregothnan estate is probably about 6 miles away from Falmouth, on the banks of the River Fal. It is the only tea plantation in the UK. Again, the unique climate in Cornwall, and particularly along the River Fal, is the place that tea can grow safely and mature. I didn't realise a tea plant can take 8 to 10 years to mature before you can pick them. And because we ordered this tea, they invited myself and a friend of mine, I took a friend along called Nikki, to go and view the plantation, have a tour, and then do a tea tasting. And they also have loads of beehives. They grow manuka, so they've got 5 or 6 different honey ranges, all grown locally. And the area is famous for a certain type of plum called key plums. And they had a little interesting story about that, because apparently key plums, and if you are in Portugal, you might be familiar with them, but they originated in Portugal. And hundreds of years ago, the sailors who used to come into the port at Falmouth from the Portuguese boats, the Portuguese sailors realised that one of the ways to offset scurvy was to eat fruit. And so when they were coming across, they had all these key plums, which grow natively in Portugal, on board the ship. And when they got into into the bay here, they obviously discarded all the stones and things over the side, thinking that they would just, you know, go to the seabed and disappear, I suppose. But what happened, the tide took them up the River Fal and deposited them on the same Tregothnan estate that the tea is grown on, obviously, way before the tea was ever produced. And they've grown there, and it's the only place, I understand, in the UK, or probably this part of Europe, that grows them. And they've got quite a unique taste. They're not sort of eating plums. They're quite sharp to the taste. But the jam, or the preserve, is wonderful. I'm not a huge jam fan. I don't like sweet jams. But this is quite a sort of sharp jam. It's beautiful and fruity. So key plum jam, if you ever get your chance to try it, do. And the Tregothnan teas that we tasted were sublime. Because they are pure and locally grown, you know, locally produced, and yeah, just harvested at their peak. They have a wonderful range of teas, and it was just such a lovely day. I just thought I'd just finish off with a little clip of what we experienced. It was a miserly old day, a bit of drizzle, bit of overcast, but it was wonderful. So enjoyed it. 3 hours. I was a bit worried because it was a lot of walking, and my breathing still isn't perfect, but I managed it fine, and we had a wonderful time. So I'm going to pop that on in a moment, but before I go, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for sticking with me, those of you that are still subscribing. As I said, I will do a separate video because I don't want to sort of share something that might trigger somebody or something else on a video. If you want to watch it, then you can choose to watch it when I release it. I'll try and get it recorded next week and upload it so that I can sort of talk about what happened for those of you that are interested. And don't forget to let me know what your favourite Mindless knit is, that I can create that top 10 video. And also, there was something else I asked you, didn't I? But hey, I've forgotten it. What was it? I can't remember. I'll have to watch the video back to try and remember. Anyway, lovely to see you all, and hopefully see you again soon. If you like this video, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, and share it with friends. Bye for now.
that